Okay, so down at the lower left part of GSL Tal'Darim Ultra, we have our Zerg player from
F United, Moon.
F United, or United, if you just want to say it that way. Don't recommend it. You can if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead, Moltrap. You can say it. I won't stop you. All right, our Terran player, the upper right part of Tal'Darim Ultra from Team SlayerS, he is
SlayerS, Teja.
What if I called him Funited?
Funited?
Because then they have fun in the name.
That's, well, if they win, they're definitely going to be feeling like that. I don't know.
That's true.
We'll see. So, either way, any way you slice it, Reaper openings are pretty popular on this map in TVZ right now.
Indeed.
Getting pretty popular on any map. Nice way to get out there and scout. You know, you don't use your Reaper to go in and just try to kill drones. You do it to keep the Reaper alive, take map control, make sure that the Zerglings aren't, you know, finding out everything that you're doing.
Yeah, I when I said earlier, I was like, oh, I don't know about Reapers on this map, and then I realized, wait, I'm not thinking about the right map. Yeah, and I would not be surprised to see Blue Flame Hellions at some point, even if it's not the specific Blue Flame Hellion Marine attack timing that we've seen a lot lately. I don't think I've seen a SlayerS game where they haven't gone for Blue Flame Hellions in almost every matchup, so probably going to see that as at least part of the strategy, since it's what they've been practicing a lot. Although, you know, you never know. We've saw it out of, you know, Ganji and MMA and Boxer, but we haven't actually seen Teja necessarily do that kind of build as much. He might do something different to even throw things off.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, I'm sure he's certainly been practicing it, just being on the team and everything like that, but Blue Flame Hellions, like you said, are so popular right now. They're kind of one of those things where people didn't quite figure out how to use them at first in StarCraft 2, but now they're like, wait a minute, if I get Infernal Pre-Igniter, and then I just make a ton of these things so that I can just run past my opponent, I can always kill a ton of their workers. And so now you're starting to see a lot more of it. I mean, if we talk about TVT for a moment, it's a bad day to be an SCV in TVT. There's so many worker kills.
But the thing is that along that same vein, Zerg players are figuring out better and better how to defend it. They're getting their spine crawlers placed very well at their natural expansions, blocking those Blue Flame Hellions from getting in. They're using Zerglings with speed to zone out the Hellions and make sure they can't get in without taking major damage from those spines. And so they're not doing as much damage as they were before they got figured out. And that's kind of how StarCraft works, in fact. Someone will come up with something really good, and it'll take a little while, but players do figure out how to cope with it on their own.
It's kind of weird that now we have Zergs walling off against Terrans.
Yeah.
We see the macro hatches, like you said, in the Evo chambers and things like that, spine crawlers. Yep. Creating a wall now. A little bit different. That SCV is not going to be able to do anything with those minerals. Nope.
Kind of a Brood War ZVP-esque sort of thing going on a lot of the time. And yeah, and actually Teja has he's getting Hellions, but he's gotten a starport, and so it looks like he's not going for any kind of blue flame just yet. He's just getting Marines off this one barracks, getting some Hellions out. We may see kind of an earlier but non-blue flame Hellion Marine pressure. Yeah, well, one thing that we've seen once in a while here has been that drop that involves like 2 Hellions and 4 Marines, I think it is, what you can fit inside a medevac. Yeah. And then drop with that. It does pretty well. You know, you can micro your Hellions, getting a good line to take out the Zerglings, and your Marines just kind of sit there in a ball. So I think that's, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like that. This is interesting. He's going to have 3 Hellions and his medevac at the same time. Yep. And he actually picks up the Marines. Oh, okay. He had been hiding the Hellions. I thought he was going to pick those up, but he's actually going to pick up the Marines, and unfortunately, both the Hellions and the medevac are going to run right by Overlords, nicely placed Overlords by Moon, so he's going to spot everything that's going on. And nope, try to juke out of the vision of that Overlord. Well, this is a really, nice response by Teja there, but this is really interesting because it's basically the same thing that we've been seeing, only it's not with Blue Flame. You know, it's going to hit a lot faster, but it's not going to have quite the burning power that Blue Flame does, of course. So how well is it going to be? I don't know if Moon is ready for this timing. He's making a bunch of Zerglings right now, but is it going to be enough? No, those Hellions will only have normal ignition. They will not be ignited beforehand. Nope, no pre-ignition. But the Marines are alongside as well. The Hellions running in past to try and gather next to the Marines. Yeah. And one Hellion going down immediately. Second one goes down as well, and everything's trapped on the corner. He needs to lift up and get out of there, actually, and virtually no damage done.
Yeah, that didn't do terribly well. Yeah, without that blue flame upgrade, without the pre-igniter, you just can't kill Zerglings fast enough to be able to make something like that work. And so it was an interesting try by Teja to try that, but didn't quite work out. Moon was plenty prepared for it.
Yeah, in that engagement, we had Moon lose several Zerglings and only 2 drones actually, but he actually lost more in resources in the units lost tab than Teja did, losing some expensive Hellions.
Well, it's nice too, to prevent your opponent from making some drones for a little while.
And in the main of Moon, that drop came back in again though.
Yeah, not a lot there right now to defend for Moon. He's over at the base of Teja. Oh, and Teja might actually be in trouble with this too. Does he have anything to defend this? There's no siege mode.
Oh, he's going to go in. He's going to bust that depot. No, tons of Zerglings going in. A single Baneling could do the trick against those Marines. He actually explodes it on nothing, but it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, a lot
Everything
of
goes down.
Going right after the reactor. I like that move by Moon right now. He can always make more lings later to clean up that drop in his main.
Now he needs to do a lot of damage with this though, because back in Moon's main base, a Banshee has a bunch of kills on it, 4 kills, and that drop did some additional damage.
Huh. The Banshee does have pretty low life, so the Queen's going to be able to kill it. And suddenly Moon's looking pretty safe right now. Oh, the Queen had no health though. I didn't see how much the health the Queen had.
That Spinecrawler probably going to hold things off for now, though, against those few Marines.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, only 11 drones have been killed by all of this.
Huh. Actually, yeah, that's 11 SCVs killed by Moon.
Oh, I'm sorry, 11 SCVs, 12 drones have been killed now, my bad.
Yep, so both players ending up, at about an even ground after that one.
Huh.
Kind of trading blows. The medevac is starting to get a little bit lower. But, is it going to escape? I think it will, yeah, but... Okay.
Ooh.
Teja taking his expansion. It's going to be pretty late, but with the way things were kind of evened up from the drop, it actually ended up being okay.
Yeah, he actually had taken that expansion earlier, I believe, and then he saw the Banelings. For some reason he had floated back. I wasn't paying attention to that part of the screen, but he may have seen the attack coming and fallen back inside his natural, or inside his main rather.
Now, has Teja gotten siege mode yet? You want to check that? I'm curious to see.
No, he has not.
Actually.
No
Okay.
siege mode.
Yep.
Spire's on the way for Moon. And, man, Moon has basically held off everything that Teja's thrown at him with relatively low losses. He did some counter damage of his own with that Baneling bust.
Yep. Yep, and it definitely wasn't any sort of, a high economy all-in type Baneling bust too. It was just to kind of test the front, see what he could do.
Nope. He's up to 41 drones to the 32 SCVs, actually 46 to 33 now. So Moon with a little bit of an economic advantage, and he's starting to take his third base as well.
Yep. Now the big thing is that the mutas are going to come out quite a bit earlier, I believe, than Stim is going to finish for Teja right now. That could be a bit of a problem. It's maybe not going to be quite as huge of a gap, but there will be some time where if the mutas go to the base right away, they could potentially do some decent damage.
Yeah. And then the other thing is that, remember, Moon took out a ton of Marines in that counterattattack earlier, so Teja's Marine count is only at 25 right now.
Zerglings,
which is
I don't know
significant, but
oops.
Point being, if he doesn't have enough to defend against mutas, it'll be tough if he gets some Baneling hits off or something like that. It'll be tough to defend against the Mutalisks. And he might not have enough to leave for against counterattacks either.
Oh, 7 mutas popping out in just a couple seconds here. Oh, he is getting burrowed too also, so he is going to be incorporating those famous moon-burrowed Banelings. Probably not going to see him do quite as badly as that one game, of course, that everybody has the gif of. Yep, Stim should finish about right, for Teja to get there. He was kind of moving out and then he did pull back. Notice that the mutas are out in the field right now too, so he's going to need to be pretty careful. Make sure that he's got some defenses back in his base to defend against those, defend against any sort of counterattack.
Moon doing some pretty good creep spread here, by the way, so he's going to have a lot of room to maneuver. If Teja goes in for an attack at the front, he'll be able to chase him pretty far back if he needs to. Assuming that Teja does not clear out those creep waves.
This is kind of a scary army moving across for SlayerS Teja right now. It's going to have +1 weapons by the time it gets to the base of Fox Moon.
Yep, Siege Mode is complete as well.
Yeah. And so a lot of this is going to come down to army control, too. A decent amount of Banelings being morphed right now by Fox Moon. He's going to need to be very careful with his mutas. He's going to need every single one of them to fend off this attack here.
Tasia being very patient, sieging up on the high ground, stimming only a few Marines in to take out those creep tumors. He's going to wait for the creep to recede and then probably move down a little bit farther as he rallies more troops there.
Yep. Now, Tasia is expanding behind this. So, you know, this will slow down Moon a little bit himself, too. Moon does already have his third up. So, Tasia kind of needs this push to work. And he may not even, you know, he might not even go for like a killing blow type move right now. He's just basically trying to protect it so that his third can get up safely at this point. And is Moon just going to go for a counterattack?
Well, he's setting up in the middle. He may just be setting up so he can flank when Tasia moves in, but that is a lot of Banelings.
Yeah.
Tasia actually is prepared for a counterattack. He has a couple tanks sieged up and a bunch of Marines at his natural expansion, so he is aware of that possibility and is not going to
I think Moon
probably
kind of
die
knows.
to a counterattack.
Yeah, I mean, I think Moon kind of knows that this push isn't going to be too aggressive. He's like, all right, you're just pushing to kind of make me worry a little
there's
bit.
46 Zerglings in production right now.
46 Zerglings? Down to
4 dozen Zerglings just popped out. That's actually disgusting. And Tasia's going to take his third, though, in the meantime.
Yep, and the nice thing about this is Taja's kind of stranded a little bit in the middle of the map. He can't really push forward, and he can't really go back either. So, I mean, Moon, you can see him taking his fourth right there. And might decide to put some pressure onto this third base.
And
oh.
A little bit of poking going on here. He's going to try and go in from both sides with everything. Tons of Banelings. The Marines have nowhere to run. And SlayerS Tasia's forward army gets completely slaughtered.
Yeah, that was just absolutely decimated.
Wow.
And I know I'm using the term decimated incorrectly, but it's a colloquial term, but decimated, you know?
in the parlance of our times,
that's right.
It means something a little bit different
the parlance of our times, Moletrap. That's absolutely right.
Than the Roman version of it. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens. Tasia had a nice little spot on that little high ground to put some pressure on Moon, but he didn't actually end up rallying anything there, and it was just, you know, ended up being a third of his army, which was not enough to hold off the entire army of We Made Fox Moon from F United. Yeah,
kind of an ill-advised move to just kind of move out there and do that. I mean, instead, you know, you normally see Terrans move out, do something like that, and then pull back shortly afterwards.
Yeah, I feel like he was too afraid of getting flanked and counterattacked
that
he couldn't rally forward and he couldn't bring them back either, and he just had to leave him there because he was too scared.
Moon still needs to be pretty careful. Siege tanks still do a good amount of damage to Banelings and Zerglings, of course.
And that is 18 Mutalisks that are about to be +2 upgraded. Coming in here. Zerglings going in. I'm surprised he didn't try and trap those SCVs. He might get a lot of them, though.
Pulling back in this third base for Tasia is going to be in trouble here. Yeah, the command center getting taken out by the mutas right now. And we also... Oh, careful the mutas.
Oh, wow. Oh.
For a Banelings
but there's more. There's more where those mutas are.
Yep. A lot of Terrans now are figuring out that Zerg players are using the mutas to bait the Marines underneath them. Look at that, he's leaving the mutas there. He wants those Marines to walk over those Banelings, Moletrap.
He actually needs those Marines to walk over those Banelings because he is he just lost a lot of Zerglings.
Well, he lost a lot of mutas too. He thought he could kill the command center in time, couldn't quite do it, and yeah, he lost about 5, I would say 5 or more mutas right there.
Oh. He's got to know those are there.
I'm sure. Well, I mean, a lot of Terrans do, you know by now what the Zerg is trying to do with that.
Here's the thing, though. Moon is at 5 bases. He hasn't joined up his 5th base yet, but even though Moon lost a lot there, if Tasia doesn't do something about those bases, start doing some drops or something, he's going to fall way behind. Moon, however, has creep pretty far out. He's got overlords all over the map. You can see he's got yellow dots all over the mini-map.
He's got Banelings all over the map,
He's got so much vision.
Oh, he doesn't know those Banelings are there. But he's not going to walk over them anyway. He's scanning everywhere now. And that's the type of thing is in TVZ, when it gets to this point, you want to have plenty of SCVs so that you can afford to use the energy on your command center for all these scans that you're going to need. What I'm wondering is when are Terran players going to start making Ravens?
I've been wondering that for a little while now, yeah. Up, 4 mutas decide to die.
Now, part of the reason is that Ravens are, pretty fragile units. It's easy to lose them to mutas, but
No, they are expensive as well, but
yeah.
imagine what you could save on scans.
Yeah, well, you just need to get used to keeping them over the Marines, keeping them safe. Teja sieging up again, trying to be aggressive. Is he going to pull back this time, or is he going to go for it? Looks like he is going to try to move ahead with this.
Moving into the middle of the map here. Trying to get position, catching him a little bit on siege. Banelings running in. The Zerglings and Mutas taking out tanks so quickly as the Banelings run past and kill a lot of Marines, but it's not quite enough. Good splitting by Teja, and he holds for now.
Yeah, great splitting by SlayerS Teja, making that nice concave around those Banelings.
Oh, he might lose all those Banes. Well, they're morphing.
Nice. Oh, there's a lot of Mutas there getting taken out too.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Well, that was close. I was literally holding my breath right there. He was he lost a few Mutas, but he was kind of sacking a few Mutas so that all the Banelings didn't die.
Yeah, now the Infestors are out, so he's going to need to be very careful with those Marine balls.
Oh, yeah.
Easy to get those fungled and taken out by Banelings if you're not terribly careful, if you don't keep the Marines split all the time.
And I think it looks like Moon is setting up for more flanks. He's moved his forces to the middle of the map, possibly to cut off reinforcements as well. There's now a Thor in the mix, which is going to make those Mutas a lot less effective in the battles.
Yeah, it certainly does help quite a bit. Moon, though, is just doing a great job of being really positional this game. He's getting around the backside of Teja's army. He's making Teja really, really uncomfortable right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Teja's reinforcements can't catch up to the army.
Exactly.
And here he comes. I don't know if this is going to be the best idea, though. It's a lot of Banelings, though. Teja micro. Banelings coming from the other side, too.
Not enough tanks. He only had 1 or 2 tanks left in that army.
Yep.
So there was basically nothing to stop those Banelings from just slaughtering him, coming in from both sides. Again, a beautiful flank.
Yeah.
You know, if this game was an episode of Sesame Street, then the letter of the day would be F for flank, because Moon has been winning every single battle through that tactic.
That's right. Losing a couple Banelings there, he probably wanted to burrow. Big Bird is unfortunately not in StarCraft 2. It'd be nice.
That would be awesome, man.
He's kind of like the Colossus, though, really.
What race unit would Big Bird be? Would it be a Terran
Protoss.
unit? Protoss?
No, Protoss, definitely.
What, because he's like a Colossus?
He's tall and yellow. He can walk up cliffs.
That's right. I forgot Big Bird has the cliff walk ability.
He does.
Uh-oh. Oh, nice scan.
Yep. He knows. Oh, one Marine getting a little bit too close. He was a Marine that didn't quite pay attention in Marine school, where they're like, all right, guys, you don't want to get too close to Banelings. He's falling asleep. Lots of scans being used by SlayerS Teja right now.
And so this is the thing, what Teja keeps doing is, he just macros up an army, and when the army that he was using to put pressure on dies, he sends out the new one. He's going to lose his top base as a result of putting this pressure, but he might trade and kill off the 6 o'clock base of Moon.
Yep. Seems like he will. He'll get a lot of those drones too. He did scan so that he can take those out. Might even scan again to make sure that he is able to kill the drones there. Oh, but a big attack at the 3rd base of Teja.
Oh, is he going to get that orbital this time?
I think he might do it this time.
Going for the Marines instead first, a wise choice.
Yeah, well, Fungal plus Mutalisks, you can actually go toe-to-toe with smaller groups of Marines. He does lose his 6 o'clock base, but this 3 o'clock base, or the I would say more the 1 o'clock base is in big trouble.
Yeah, and so is the 7 o'clock man. SlayerS Teja moving in towards the 3rd of Moon.
Yeah.
He's chased Moon out of his natural. He's threatening Moon's 3rd now.
Here's kind of the bizarre thing is that Moon's in a position where he can do some damage to Teja, but Teja is still like 50 supply ahead right now.
Yeah.
And at TVZ, that's pretty rough for the Zerg players. So, I mean, Moon did a little bit of damage, but is it going to be enough to actually, do damage to Teja and also handle this army? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Here's the important thing is that Moon has not been able to get drones over to the right side of the map, so he's only mining from his left side base, the 9 o'clock base.
Yeah.
He's mined out his natural. Teja, in a similar position, though, is also only mining from his 3rd.
Transfusing some Mutalisks to keep them alive. That does certainly work. Now, there's some Ultras on the way for Moon. That's kind of interesting. You don't see that in TVZ very often. But they could do okay. And look at that. Is that the pathogen glands upgrade for Infestors? Did he really not get that until right now?
Oh yeah, he forgot those. Here's what's gonna happen. Those ultras are gonna pop out with 5-3 upgrades. Those have an armor of 6.
Yeah, the Marines are
which is
3-3
just
though.
disgusting. Yeah, I mean, obviously they're 3-3, but still the +2 extra armor on those Ultras
Goodbye,
is going to be pretty sick.
A couple Vikings out on the way. You can see that Tage is kind of cognizant of the fact that we're getting to the point in the game where there might be Broodlords. And as it turns out, Moltrap, Vikings aren't that great against Ultralisks.
No, they're pretty bad against Ultralisks. Of course, if those Marines are concentrated enough, they will be able to take out the Ultras, but the thing is the combination that's the problem. If you can fungal the Marines and then go in with Ultras and Banes, or anything else really, it can be pretty harsh.
Yep.
And there's more Ultralisks on the way. It's going to bring him to a total of like 10 Ultras.
Yeah, that's a lot of Ultras. I mean, this is kind of a last-ditch effort for Fox Moon right now. He needs to make this work. Oh, the tank's not sieged up for Tasia. Not the best engagement for Tasia. Fungal going down on absolutely everything.
One more Fungal on those Marines. It's going to polish off all the bio. The Ultras got too close to the tanks.
Whoa.
And SlayerS Tasia is now at a 1-unit supply deficit.
Yeah.
Having gone from a 30 or 40 up, that is huge.
Moon pulling back the lead. This is just why TVZ is so difficult right now. You need to be on top of where your army is and what it's doing in every second, just because Infestors are so strong in this matchup. Fungal growth changes the game in such a big way.
Tasia has moved his main orbital to the 3 o'clock base, and he's moving another command center over to the 11:30 base. So if he can get those going, he's going to be mining a lot pretty quickly here. But Moon is trying to stop the right side.
I don't know if this is going to be so good for Moon. Yeah, this is not quite as good.
No, he needed the support units without the fungal growth to go along with it. It just did not do any good.
And he's kind of trapping his units right there. The Ultralisks aren't going to jump up the cliff anytime soon. Trying to get those Marines. Ultras do tons of splash damage to light units like Marines.
He actually triple stimmed his army.
Did he really?
I was watching. He stimmed his army 3 times. That is why his units were all red against those Ultras. Otherwise, they would have probably owned the Ultras a little bit more.
I'll have to go back and watch that later.
Maybe. I could be wrong. But
Ultras
you know what? Maybe it was the splash of the Ultras, and it looked like...
Could be.
I didn't think the Ultras went that deep. I'd
hope we wouldn't have SlayerS Tage and triple stimming in a fight. It happens every once in a while. You're right. You're right. Out and you hit the button a bunch of times. You're like, oh no, I just triple stimmed. Those Marines get a little bit too into the stim sometimes. It does happen.
Well, maybe the Ultras splash goes a lot deeper than I thought it did.
Not as deep as it used to, man. Remember that one patch?
Oh yeah.
That Infestor didn't do terrible much. And here comes Moon again. And this army, I don't know if it's going to be what it's going to have to... I don't know if it's going to be able to take out what Tage has got.
Yeah.
Certainly doesn't look like it.
Too many tanks there, just doing so much damage. Man, those Ultralisks leave such a huge pile of guts.
Yes, they do. You can feed a village for like a month with an Ultralisk.
Ouch. And these drones just kind of going into the meat grinder. And here's the thing. Moon has lost all of his Mutalisks. So even though there's nothing but tanks there, this would be a beautiful time he could go in with like a handful of Mutalisks and kill most of Tasia's army. But he doesn't have them anymore. He's just focusing on all these Ultras and Banes.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the income tab while we watch this hatchery die. The income is very, very low for Moon right now. He's down to like basically no mining, actually. In fact, he is at no mining right now.
Yeah, now that he's
Moon is not mining.
Now that he's pulled his drones away from that hatchery to try and save the drones, he has no mining at all, and no money either, actually. So
well, Tage has been on top of this game for a while now. I mean, Moon's had a couple little glimmers of hope, I guess you could say, but you know, it's going to be almost impossible now for him to come back.
And here comes the last march of the drones. Once he loses those, we're going to see GG.
I don't think the drones are
any
gonna
moment.
Do it. GG.
There we go.
And look at that. F United ties things up 1-1. We have got ourselves a match here, Moltrap.
No, Taja's up 2-0.
Yeah. You're right.
Sorry about that. I was like, wait. I was like, wait, did I see that wrong? Did I see?
Did I?
You confused me while being confused yourself. That's all right. No.
Just like, go back and change.
I wish Tasia was playing on F United, man. That'd be cool.
What am I? All right, we're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Don't worry about it.
Never gonna live that one down on the forums. see the
There's
threads
Boxer
now.
congratulating Tasia. He is up 2-0. But we still do have a match. You were right about that. Because
Yes,
F
we
United
do.
is not out yet. They've
Nope.
still got several strong players on the bench that they can send out here. And they've been practicing a lot lately.
They have been.
You know who we haven't seen yet?
Who?
Thorzane. Haven't seen him yet. He of course, doing a good number on MVP last week.
I'm sorry. I'm
Don't
still.
worry about it. I'm curious to see who they're going to send out next, actually. I'm curious if they're going to send out Thorzane right now or if they're going to save him and actually have him be the closer, like the little splash screen said earlier.
I don't know. I would say Naniwa and Thorzane are still definitely the two strongest
have to be
players
the
on the
next
team
two,
right
yeah.
now. If they really want, a good chance at winning this, I feel like those are who they want to send out. On the other hand, those are the two players that I'm sure SlayerS is prepared the most for too. But
Yep.
we're gonna find out.
We're going to
in just a
find out right
second.
now.
The
I'm
music
gonna
has started.
guess Thorzane's going out next personally, but
Well,
just because Tasia has really good TVP, and there he is.
Yep. Mouse Thorzane getting 3 kills last week against MVP. Did extremely well. Can he give Fox United their first win in this match? Not their second, but their first. Why?
Thorzane, of course, from Sweden, as is
Yes.
Naniwa.
Yep, and he's got a pretty good record in the GSL right now.
Yeah.
He won 1 game in his Code A match.
Yeah,
Won 3
true.
games last week in the team league. In fact, did he win 3 games last week? He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he won 3 games.
So that should be 4 and 2, shouldn't it? One
I-
game in Code A and
I'm actually not
3 and
sure
2.
how they calculate those. Which set of games they use.
gotta be
Maybe
everything.
it's like from the last week or something. I don't
you
know.
can't lose twice in the team league.
No.
So I don't know. He's got a pretty good record either
Yes.
way. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, guys. I'm gonna get some coffee. You guys get whatever wakes you up too. We'll be right back. This is the GSL.